Yes, you are. That's all back. Brother.
Learn to cloud surf while never leaving Earth. 10 toes firmly planted in the dirt for what it's worth. See my life flash before my eyes a couple times. So I'd be lying if I said I don't believe in the divine. For reasons we can't find, the truth will probably blow our minds. This energy in the universe send chills down your spine. Had a talk with a goddess about human design. Pull my coat to how I need to get my chakras aligned. Gotta break some bad habits, it's addition by subtraction. Move away from bad actors, trying to leech off your action. It's the laws of attraction, gotta see it before it happens. Gotta believe it with a passion, then receive this beautiful madness. Find a pattern in the chaos, their assessment was way off. You build it from the ground up, you own it, so ain't no layoffs. Your energy is equity, cashing on your day off. Hope to reach a couple souls, it's all a part of the payoff. Learn to cloud surf while never leaving Earth. 10 toes firmly planted in the dirt for what it's worth. See my life flash before my eyes a couple times. So I'd be lying if I said I don't believe. For reasons we can't find, the truth will probably blow our minds.
I am intentional, I am the sun, I am original, I am the one.
Let's create a universe where the rings of Saturn. I'm the sun, you the moon, and the light reflects. Complementing each other, that makes us just. Energy shared between us is so phenomenal. Astrological, thinking on the same thought pattern. Let's create a universe where the rings of Saturn. Our love goes deeper than the meanings, feelings, healings. Coasting on the wings of my eye. You're the air that I breathe. Goddess of my dreams. Put you on a pedestal, place the one above you. Got you going in circles, showing my love Jones. Putting me in a zone, making this house a home. How long will it take for you to realize? Open up your third eye. Enoch is just God in the physical. Queen, I'm just a man. I need you to understand that I'm God in the physical. I'm the sun, you the moon, and the light reflects.
Hey, peace, 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 and blessings, Starseeds. Welcome to Pronoia Starseed Podcast. What a wonderful Sunday it is. I hope you're doing well. This is a very, 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 very special show for me tonight. I have two special guests actually in the building tonight. The first one, she's here with us already. It's my mama. Yes, I know it's a little spooky for some people, but my mama decided, she said, baby, put me in the frame. So I went ahead and removed Bassett from the frame, and my mother will be joining us tonight. So understand that if you start feeling like, that don't sound like Roxy, that might just be my mama coming through, y'all, because she already was like, yo, I'm going to need you to play some dope music. I know you in that spiritual stuff, but you know what I used to play. My mom used to be a DJ, y'all. So tonight we're going to have a good time. We're going to celebrate the life of Karen Mahone. If you love me, you got to love her. So we got to celebrate her here tonight. And with nobody better, I could have picked no better guest to join me tonight, because I know because I have 3 girls, right? I have 3 daughters, and my oldest daughter, I call her little mama. Cause y'all know when mama's gone, big little mama, she running the house. I mean, even when I'm here, sometimes I'll be like, I'm here. I got this. She'd be like, no, they need to do this, this, and that. And I'll be like, oh, that's little mama. Well, so tonight, no better. My big sis, the little mama, Miss MaWu Lisa, is in the building tonight. Y'all welcome my sister MaWu Lisa.
Good
Hey.
evening. Good evening. I am so excited to be here. You look so pretty. Let me just say
thank
that
you.
intro is so dope. I'm just like, oh man, you just looked amazing. And you know
Thank
what?
you.
I see you, mama, in the frame. And you know what? I'm here for it. I say, oh, queen, may you continue to
Yes.
rise in power.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, MaWu Lisa, for being here. Like, first of all, y'all, this is like my big sister in real life, like for real. And it's so crazy because like she didn't know. She was sending me the dates and stuff. And I was like, ooh, that is the perfect day. Because first of all, as much as I love my mama, I do not want to be sitting up here by myself because y'all know I'll stop. Boo-hoo. And then we're not gonna do that tonight. Tonight is a celebration of life, y'all. So I hope y'all ready to go to the club. I hope y'all ready to remember the times back in the day. Because we gonna, and you know what? I'm not monetized on YouTube. So I'm gonna play what the hell I want to play. So tonight, my mama wanted to come through, y'all. She wanted to be able to like be heard, be seen, be felt. And so tonight we're gonna just enjoy it. And also I want to talk to Miss MaWu Lisa about mothers, about because I want to do again the mother part 2 show. I'm gonna do it probably around Mother's Day this year, like we did last year. But it's been in me that feeling that I gotta speak to the mothers, I gotta speak to the women. It's always been in me. And so knowing that tonight is my mother's birthday, I want to get into that with my sister here, get into mothers, their roles, how I guess that, as we get older, I think we appreciate our mothers more. I just want to get your views on that because I know for me that was the case, I mean, I love my mom to death. Like when I was a kid, I used to just look at her and be like, oh, I want to be just like you. Like, oh, everything you do, I want to be just like you. Like everything she couldn't really do no wrong. And I was just like, oh, that's so dope. But it like again, I tell people my mom was almost like a glam witch to me. Like I see her get ready and go out, and people would just be looking at her, and she just like maneuver through life. And I'd be like, yo, I don't even know if I don't remember my mom ever working a job, like a regular job. Like I don't. Besides the bar, she was a DJ at the radio station. She was a DJ for a while, and she worked at a bar before. But like besides that, like and those is like off and on, off and on. My mom just maneuvered through life, like she was just here to live, and so that spirit is in me, y'all. I worked real hard doing. Hey, Diana. I work real hard doing regular things, trying to fit in. But that spirit of my mom, girl, we are nomads. We got to get around and travel. That joint is in me. So I want to get into that tonight. I want to know about your mom, MaWu Lisa. I want to know about your journey. And we're just going to talk about moms tonight. And again, let's give thanks. This is my mother's birthday. So we're going to start this off right. I'm going to play a video. Then we're going to come back and get into it. And we'll start this off right because I think I consider y'all my friends, right? We friends. So my mom used to play this song all the damn time, and it's by Houdini, and it's called Friends, right? So we're going to get into this video real quick. It's Houdini, Friends on Pronoia Starseeds podcast, y'all. Hey. So, that was Houdini, Friends. Yes. I'm sorry, sis. I should have told you I'm going to cut in between because I don't want to play the whole joint. Some of them.
Sorry. You know what? Can I just say, I'm a clown. I was like looking at that video. First of all, I remember when that came out. Second of all, I said, looking at his fit, he had no friends. He had on them shorts and he had on them boots. And I'm like, what is we doing? And he's doing little steps off the side. I'm like, bro, you ain't got no friends. You ain't got no friends. Your friends would have told you not to put that fit on, but I'm just saying, that's just me. That's just me. That's just me.
Brother, you need some
and
friends.
That's a little bit of my mother coming through because my mother was a clown. And she would have been like, what?
Oh my goodness. Your mother and my mother might be sitting together because
Child,
my
please,
mama
for
be saying the
this right
same.
here, I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings, knowledge born Allah, Diana. Yes, that was Houdini, y'all. Oh, yes, with rapper John X Ecstasy Fletcher. Rest in peace. Yes, see? Yes, rest in power. MaWu Lisa.
Yes, rest
MaWu is a legend, a divine mastermind with a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and love. Yes, she is. That's my sister.
stop it.
Yes. So
Uh,
MaWu, just get into this. Again, my mom was a very, I say, expressive type of person. Like you knew how she felt when she felt the way she felt. She's a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. So, we in that water. I'm a February, she's a March. And there is a difference, like because I'm in the beginning, I still got Aquarius tendencies, right? But my mom was fully engulfed in the Pisces energy. So when you when you piss her off, honey, you would see it. And when she was happy, you would see it. She was extremely emotional, and in a good way. Like you knew she loved you hard. You knew when she was mad. You knew she was sensitive. So tell me, like some stories, or tell me a little bit about your mom. MaWu. Is your mom has passed as well,
yes,
right?
yes, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful queen has ascended. Um, Let me just say, being invited to speak today on such a special day, about a special woman, during a special time of the year. It's Pisces time, and it's also Women's History Month.
Yes.
And so, what better history to talk about than those of our mothers? Um, I tend to get in my book bag when I go someplace and I'm really excited about a topic. And this being Soulmate Sundays, we didn't initially know what we were going to talk about.
Mm-mm.
And so, when you said it was your time for your mom, I was like, well, you know what? This is an awesome time to talk about what a soulmate could really be, possibly be, because what closer soul do we have than the womb that bear us? You understand? So
Absolutely.
this is the first, as we know it. We can debate later about when a soul does whatever, but for what we know and for this purpose, the first soul we come in contact with is our mother. In her
Yes.
womb, she shapes and she fashions and molds us in there. But I was thinking even deeper, about our mothers and our grandmothers,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a grandmother and I'm about to be a grandmother again. So
Congratulations.
thank you very much. I'm racking them up, boo.
Yeah.
I'm racking them up. I love it. I love it. But I remember now, and let me just say, I am no expert on anything. I sit and I toil with some of these topics more than people. I spend a lot of hours in here. It's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And during Pisces time, I be all in the water. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking about how, you know, um, when a woman is born, you know, inside of her is all the things of all the generations of all the things. And I was like, well, damn, I was like, so I was in my grandma and I was in her mom and I
Yep.
was in, so it's like, how will we ever look? These are our soulmates.
Yes.
This is our ultimate, in my opinion, our ultimate soulmate. Like, we have these tendencies to romanticize everything, which, after the traumas we had, we need a little romance. But when we think about soulmates, when somebody say, well, what's your soulmate? They'll be like, oh, the love of my life. Not true. But your soulmate, is many things at different times. You know what I mean? You asked me about my mom. My mother was a Leo, and
Ooh.
she was a Leo with a Sagittarius moon and a Cancer. She was not very affectionate.
So
She
wait a
was
minute. You said
very
she had a
blunt.
Cancer rising? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So she appeared one way. She did appear in that way, but
Oh,
that
she's soft as a pillow. Beautiful, soft,
yes,
gorgeous woman. But baby, when she give it to you,
yes,
she ain't cutting no sauce. She giving it to you raw dog. Like if she felt the way, she told you how she felt, and she ain't had no problem roaring it across the room. So,
all that fire.
and me being an Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that was rather harsh, you know. So some of my um childhood memories, um I had to sit and evaluate as an adult. I couldn't think of them with my child mind, because my child mind processed a lot of that in fear and trauma. So in doing the work to move towards optimal health for myself, I had to reevaluate these type of memories in my mind with my mom. So I took care of my mom up until her ascension, and we had gotten very close, later in life. But
Mm-hmm.
those first memories, I remember looking at my mother like she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and she could sew. So she made these amazing clothes, and she would do her hair up and her makeup and all, and I just be like, wow.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
and she could and
yes,
she
I
could
do.
sing and she could dance. So I would just be like, I want to do all of that. You know what I mean? But I remember saying at one point, um, had it not been for some of the more challenging times we went through together, I would not be prepared for the life I'm in now. I am the mother of seven, and trust me, I have had my challenges, and I
Yes,
still having my challenges. You know what I mean? And as a grandmother, I'll continue to have these challenges. But when we think of soulmates, we need to really start expanding our thoughts when it comes to what soulmates are, not
yes,
what you just particularly one, but what they are really, because you have souls that challenge you, and these are important. You have souls that nurture you, and these are important. You understand? So it's
yes,
not just this one soul person or entity that we're supposed to resonate with, but if there was one, it would be mother.
absolutely. I agree. Yes. I agree on such a heavy level. Just as you said, like early on, you talking about romanticizing. You talking about looking at somebody and just looking at them in awe, just like anything that she did, to me, it was just like, wow, really? That's what we doing? That's how you like, wow. And I think that, again, we went through a lot. I lived with my mom until I was 9. I was raised by my grandmother from 9 on, but I still had a connection to my mother. And as I got when I was 9, and I separated from her, it was very difficult because I was in love with my mom. I was like, what do you mean? I don't give a damn what we're going through. I want to go through it with you. And she could see the bigger picture was, no, baby, because I'm still got to think about it. I started thinking about it. My mom was like probably in her early 30s, right? She was like 20 when she had me, or 21 at the oldest when she had me. So at 9, she's 29. She's going through her Saturn return. She's going through her stuff. But I don't know this as a child. I don't even know this as a teenager. I had to become an adult to understand and go through my own thing, to understand why my mother, I'm like, because when I was a kid, I'm like, why would my mother send me to live with my grandmother? You know, not, not, instead of changing all the circumstances around herself to make it more comfortable in my head, this is what I'm thinking. Make it more comfortable for me. You send me, but she had a bigger picture. She knew what she was going through. And as an adult now, I look at my kids and I just, I see the same thing. It's like sometimes they'll just they want this and they want this and they want this and they want this and and they don't get what the responsibility of the being the mother is carrying everything, making sure everything stays in place, meaning that sometimes you're going to be upset with me and that's going to be okay. You're going to understand later. And that was always something that, I'm a projector, right, in the human design. I'm always about systems or of understanding. And when I got older, I'm going to say this, when I became a mother, it all started to make sense to me. It's only once I became a mother, though. It wasn't even when I got older, because it was the responsibility of somebody else and not just me. And then the fact that I'm implanting or imprinting something upon this other person. And then the fact that it comes to your mind that you are not going to be here forever and this person is going to continue on after you. You want them to be a better version. But how do you do this? And again, I would always go back to my mother. And I say this to say the last couple of weeks, it's been rough without her. It's been rough, rough. And it's only been almost 2 years. And I'm not a young chick, but I can't even imagine losing my mother before I did. Like being at a younger age or being at an age where that trauma stays with you in you. Because if you lose your mother, y'all, you lose someone like your mother, your father, someone really close to you at a certain age, the trauma is in your body. When you get over at a certain age, it's in your mind and you're able to push past it. But when it's stuck in your body, sometimes a lot of people don't understand when young kids lose their parents at a certain age, like they are still working through all of that, because that's not how it's supposed to be. So even though I was 40 when my mom passed, I felt like I was 10. And so as you get older, and then as you spoke on soulmates, I definitely believe that my mom is a big part of my soulmate journey, because all the lessons I learned were either from the things that she taught me, the things she did not teach me, and the things that she allowed me to observe, and the things she would not allow me to observe. So it was so much going on that she didn't have to, it wasn't a normal structure, but it was what was needed for me to become who I am now. So just as you said, like soulmates have such a bigger purpose than just the romanticized version of the soulmate that they give us. But I'll tell you, I romanticized the hell out of that lady. I used to look at her, I just be like, oh, my brother get in trouble, and the vice principals and them, they be quick to call my mama. But why? Because they just want to sit there and look at her. My brother never got suspended. He would fight anybody in the damn school, and they just call my mama up to the school, be like, oh, we're gonna have to call Miss Mahone up here. And I'd be sitting there like, what kind of, and she'd always, anything my mama would go and say she was gonna do, she would do it, and she would kill it. And just being a 9-year-old or being a 7-year-old, sitting back and just looking at this person maneuver through life. My mom was married to my dad, but they weren't together after I was 3. My mom was maneuvering with 2 children, just in the 80s, and she was still trying to, and my mom was all about living her dreams. Okay. So she wasn't about to be like, she wasn't one of them people that was again like, okay, I got these 2 babies, so I got to go and do some shit that I don't want to do and make sacrifices I don't know. My mom was like, nah, we're going to do this shit together, y'all. We together. And my mom, again, she was a bartender, but the best job she had to me was when she was a DJ. And I used to go to the studio with her. My grandfather owned the radio station, right? So my mom used to DJ at the radio station, and she used to play all the dopest music. And it was stuff, it was so weird. It was a song called like I Pick Boogers and weird stuff my mom would play to irritate. Like it would be because people would call in and they would say, my mom liked to talk. She should have had a talk radio, but she liked to talk over music. And they'd be like, can you just play the song? Don't do that to her. Cause she will talk. She will find a song that she know you like and talk through the whole damn thing just because you asked her to not do that. So my mom's little spirit of and I love you, mom. Her spirit of pettiness is in me a little bit because like I would sit at the radio station and be like, Mom, that man just said that. She'd be like, but watch this, baby. And she played the whole song and be like, and then me and my baby's gonna go to, and then what we gonna do later on today? And the whole time she got us over there just talking along with him. And you know what? He probably never called back, but everybody else was in the background laughing and having a good time. And my mom was always about that. She was about living the life to the fullest, and I think as I got older and with my kids, there is a structure and there is way the world tells us how we have to live. But with my children, I'm kind of like my mom. I'm like, I want you to be free. I want you to be you. And I also want you to like real life being you, because so much of my life I spent doing what I had to. Yes, had to do. It is Picking Boogers by Biz Markie is the song. Yes, Jackie, that's the song. Yo, that's crazy. I didn't even know it was Biz Markie. I just remember being a kid and my mom was like, play that joint. And I'm like, why you play? That song is so nasty. Mom. She's like, it's called Picking Boogers. They like it. I'm like, that's so crazy. I did not download that video, y'all. So, because I didn't know it was Biz Markie. But if I did, so you on to I just spin that. Okay. Before we go on to this next song, and I believe, wait a minute, 1 second. I'm gonna give my internet a chance to catch up. It's trying to catch up, y'all. See, it's a lot of energy right now. You got MaWu, you got me, you got Mon Dukes right here. It's a lot of energy. So it's gonna be some interruptions tonight. Y'all just hold tight, hold tight. Here we go. So I wanted to give you a chance to go ahead and say anything you wanted to add to that. I know I got into my mom a little bit. I was just seeing her in my head and all the shit she be doing. And then I wanted to get into one of the greats who passed. And my mom used to play the hell out of De La Soul. But I want to get into that De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I. But yo, anything you like to add, Mo?
I can definitely see your mother's spirit all through you. I've known you a long time, and let me just say I see it in the babies too. Your daughters are amazing, and they are definitely a product of their mother and grandmother. So I say, I love it. Like I said, my mother was silly, and I promise you, from the oldest of us to the youngest of us are silly like that. My granddaughters are hilarious. My daughters, my sons, they are just funny. And I mean, you really get to see yourself, because we, like you said, when we looked at them, we were like, when we grow up, and then when we actually start growing up, we start to see, wow, I really did pick up a lot of that. I find myself all the time doing things like my mother did, saying things that she said.
Absolutely.
And it's just phenomenal, and I wanted to address one of the messages that came across the screen, that one of the viewers talked about. They think of their death all the time, and and look and think about what their kids will do to live on without them. Let me tell you, that's a very common thought. And as we tend to get older, well, I don't even think it's just when we get older. I think it happens for every mother at a different time. Um, Having some health challenges of my own, I can truly say that I know that one of the most important things about being a mother is sharing. And that's why Women's History Month was very fitting, sharing things with your children. Oral, exchange was the way we used to do things before we had all these 99,000 books. We used to tell stories,
Yes.
and And I'd really like to see us do more in the way of tell our children stories about ourselves, about our mothers and their mothers, and of course our fathers and other parts of the family. But when we are talking about this womb connection, in Islam, the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that paradise lies at the foot of the mother, and in the Quran it tells us that, and it also reminds us of a hadith of Abu Huraira where he said that a man came to the Prophet and asked him who was most worthy of his company, and he said his mother. And then he asked him again, and he said, your mother. And he asked him again, and he said, your mother. And he asked him the fourth time, and he said, your father. So it's something to be said for this connection to our mothers, this womb, that we come from. And let me just say, when you look at the soulmate thing at the very base level, you made a soul agreement with this person to come through them. That's a
Yes,
big thing. That's a contract.
absolutely.
Like you was like, yo, you gonna hook me up, you gonna make me a body, you gonna get me down there on earth. And she was like, yeah, I got you. So
Yes,
I mean, this is your soul homie. Because they could have
yes.
been like, nah, they could have been like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait on the next one. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But
right.
they agreed with us. So
Yes.
we have to honor that. So I just, I definitely see our mothers in us, and in you I see that free, beautiful spirit.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, I see our mothers for sure in us, and you are so right. Uh, Talking to you just remind me of my mom too. Cause see, there is a part of my mom that just used to be, I just want to sit and talk to her. And I think I miss that. Just
Uh,
sitting and just hearing, cause you never know what they're gonna say. My mom, you never knew what she was gonna
oh,
say.
never,
Never.
never,
Like,
never,
but it
never,
will
never.
always be impactful, be it left or right. It would be impactful. It don't even matter. And it was so crazy. If you want to know how I got into astrology, it was my mother reminded me that everything I did was because I was a Pisces. When I was a kid, oh, it's because you a Pisces. Oh, you a Pisces just like me. Because my dad and all of my brothers are Scorpios. This is crazy. So I have,
Whoa,
yes, I have,
that occult, but woo,
yeah, there you go. So
yes.
I got my father, and I have one, two, four brothers. No, yo, don't give me the line. About three to four brothers. And they all are Scorpios, except for one is a Pisces.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Yes.
I
And
know that
so
house was interesting, child. Woo.
yeah, so I grew up with one brother. Me and my mom. My mom had one brother with my father, but my father had other sons, but they all ended up being Scorpios. And so that
Wow.
energy, that emotional energy of Pisces and Scorpio, that energy, like it's in within me. And so I see it even, and like you said, with my babies, oh my goodness. I see my mama when some of them smile at me. I just see my mama.
Yes.
Or the way
Yes.
they move, or the way they like certain music, and the connection. So all the songs that were downloaded tonight were downloaded by my 18-year-old because she was like, "Oh, mom, you
Oh.
want me to do it?" I remember the songs that your grandma used to sing and all the stuff she used to play.
Oh.
And I was like, "Okay, cool. You download it because this is the energy." My babies came in today. They said happy birthday to mom. They get, oh yeah. They was like, "We wish you was here with us," but they just start talking. And honey, they was talking to her like she was sitting right here answering them back.
She
And I told
is.
them, yes, and I told them that. And it's so crazy because they asked her, what was the question? I told them to ask her a question. And I said, just when you go and ask, then be quiet and sit. And when you hear it back, the answer is her. They both came in at the same time. We heard it. She said, yes, we both heard it, but it was in here. And I said, yeah, she is here. My mom is very
Yes.
much so
Very
here, watching
close.
everything. Yes. So, y'all, I'm going to dedicate this next one. We're going to play De La Soul and rest in
Yeah.
peace to, I don't remember his name, so I know,
Mm.
yep, he's saying it backstage, but I can't read lips. So I'm gonna say this. He's gonna probably put it in the chat. the name of the member who just recently passed from De La Soul. I know y'all know. Starseeds, I know y'all know.
I wasn't even aware. Look at that. I'm just
Yes.
behind. I'm behind. I don't. You know, I
Days.
don't do my social media day. Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Yep.
wow. May the brother continue to rise and prosper. So young.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so he
Mm-hmm.
just recently passed, and my mom, oh my goodness, my mom, my aunties, all of them used to play De La Soul. So we're gonna play real quick. We're gonna play a little snippet from De La Soul, me, myself, and we'll be right back here on Pronoia Star
Awesome.
C podcast. Myself
All
and
right.
I, and now we're gonna bring MaWu Lisa back, so it's not just me, myself, and I. Oh, hey, I was back there really grooving, man.
Hey, listen, that's a good one right there. A classic. And you know, wow, I really didn't know about the brothers. So that's, I mean, so many of them just going young. My goodness gracious.
Yes.
Ah,
That's
ah.
that's so true. And I think I think we played that one right before that, and it was one more person who had passed. And
Mhm.
you guys, I'm excited tonight because again, I always feel my mother's energy. I always feel it. Like I always feel it. And I'm very vulnerable when I'm here and I tell y'all a lot of shit. I probably a lot of times I don't share that information. Why am I sharing all of this? But sometimes, I'm like a big baby. And whenever, life life throws shit and I'm real strong, but we get weak sometimes. And my mother would be that person. That person I would just call, even though like we would bump heads about all kinds of things, right? But when I was at my worst and when I was feeling like down, that was my rock. And I'm gonna tell you, these last 2 years, she has been answering me without me even having to call on her. So it's a different type of energy. It's so crazy.
Yes.
Like I don't know. She just knows. And y'all, if you ever watch the show called Peace, Peace, Larry, um, the show was called The Day That I Died, that I did with my cousin Stephanie. And I was talking about the day that I felt like I was going to commit suicide, and my mother's energy appeared to a friend of mine who is she practices the craft. She practices on a regular basis, and she reached out to me. And my mother, she was like, I'm sitting here trying to sit with my dad, and your mother is here in my space. And I did a reading, and this is what's going on, and you need to call me. And it was crazy because I'm on the other side of town, ready to take my own life. And y'all, they were not connected. But yet my mother is here. She knows everything that's going on. So shout out to my mom and shout out to my friend and my cousin Stephanie for that show, because honestly, it was more than the show, y'all. If it would not be for Stephanie, my mother, and my girlfriend April, I don't even think I would be here right now. And so my
I'm
mom's
sure.
energy was so strong on the after she passed. I mean, my aunt would tell you stories like she was after my mom had passed, like a week after she passed, she still had my mom's stuff in her with her. And she said something smart. I don't know what she said, but she called me, she said, "Oh my goodness, Raquel." Because everybody in the house, everybody in my family's not as spiritual. So whenever something spiritual happens, they call me and they like, "Oh shit, this just happened. What's going on?" And so my mom, my aunt, she's the one who took care of my mom, took her to the hospital when she had cancer and was sitting with her the whole time. I went down there and I sat with her, but my aunt was the one who drove up from Alabama to Atlanta, picked my mom up and took her down to Alabama Hospital. And so my aunt said that she had still had some of my mother's stuff and she was going to send it to me. And she was like, talking about wearing one of my mom's sweaters. She's like, "Ooh, I think I'm put this on." And she said that the trash can just went like, and she said she felt like my mom was like, "Bitch, you better not." And I'm gonna tell you, when I was picking out an urn for my mother, right? Y'all know I'm all into Egyptology and Egypt and stuff. And my mom, my mom was old school, so that wasn't like a big thing for her. When I would share things, she'd be like, "Oh, that's dope." Oh, she'd be into it, but she didn't know a lot about it. So when I was getting ready to pick her urn, I found this Anubis urn, right? So it had Anubis head on it. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. My mother came to me clear as day and said, "You better not put me in that shit." And that's
Hello.
exactly what she said to me. And I got chills right now. I felt it. She hit me. It hit me so hard. Like, I better not put my mom in this. She
No.
said it's a dog. Do not put me in that. She didn't, she didn't understand like Anubis takes you into the underworld and all that. She didn't give. My mom didn't care, and that's the type of personality that she has. Like, I get what you doing, Raquel, but I don't like that. I don't like that urn. So this is the urn that we ended up with, and this was the one that she chose. My mom told me, like, when I was
Yes.
picking it, I felt it. Like, so understand that energy never dies, y'all. It moves on, and sometimes it stays around. And my mom, I don't, it was crazy because my cousin, my baby cousin, she was pregnant at the same time that my mom was passing, right? And so I'm in Alabama, and my baby cousin's super pregnant, and she's sitting in the chair. And my mom's silly, even when she is not even like at her best, she's still silly. And my baby cousin sitting across in a chair, and she pregnant. And my mom noticed, like, because she's in and out. So she's sometimes she noticed you there, sometimes she don't. And she saw
Mm.
her and she said, "Ooh, Jazz, you pregnant?" She said, "Oh, yeah, 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 Auntie, I'm pregnant." She said, "Ooh, you got to be more careful." I almost just fell out my chair. My mom had been asleep all day. She ain't said nothing all day. She wake up, look at my cousin, and say, "You got to be more careful."
You got to be more
So
careful, baby.
yes, and so my cousin later we were like, "Well, she's hungry. Let me go take her get something to eat." She started having contractions. Now this is the part that gets crazy, y'all. So I'm like, "Do I need to take you to the hospital?" But she's going. So they had the same hospitals, but one is the north and one is the south. So one is Baptist South Baptist North, and one is South Baptist South. Right? My mom's at South Baptist North, but she got to go to South. That's where she's supposed to be having her baby. So I got to leave where my mom is, drive all the way down here and drop her off. I don't want her to have the baby on me. So I take her, and she doesn't have the baby. Right? So I go back and see my mom, and I'm getting ready to leave. And I remember because my mom had water on her lungs. She had fluids on her lungs. And when my mom passed, it was so crazy because there was some things going on with the baby. And when the baby came out, the baby had fluid on her lungs. And she was born in South Baptist, and my mom passed in North Baptist. And when you see this baby with the deepest dimples, and when I say my mom has the deepest freaking dimples, because my mom used to do this when she was little, she used to get anything she could, and just she already had a dimple, but she wanted it to be deeper. And so she always say, "Oh, what, Rocky? Look, we're gonna make it make it deeper." And so this baby, and so I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want to be the weird, spooky one. So I'm just like,
Right.
so I didn't say anything for a minute. And then I just had to tell my cousin and her mom. Now, her mom is the one who took my mother to the hospital. So I said, "Vicky, that baby reminds me of my mother. See my mom's deep dimples right there?"
Yes.
Yeah. So I said, "This baby reminds me of my mom." And my Aunt Vicky said, "Oh my God." I didn't want to say nothing to freak you out. But like, so everybody will come in the room and the baby will smile at them, right? And my Aunt Vicky come in and she said, "The same look your mama used to do with this little forehead frown thing." She said, "The baby do that to me." I said, "Oh my goodness, stop." And so I'm not lying. Like for the first, I say 3 months of that baby's life, all I could see was my mother. Like the tendencies, the laugh, the fact that she was super advanced. I feel like my mom left and came right back. Some souls just be like, I don't want to go, and they just come right back. And I felt like that. And I still to this day think that that baby is my mama already just came on right back. She may or may not be, but she surely had some tendencies.
Listen, you can't, I tell people you can't ignore some of these, like these signs. Everybody is not going to. That's one of the things I love about the occult and symbology and things like that. Is this is your individual journey, and the way we perceive things, and receive messages and things like that are all different. I'll share this about soulmates and mothers and new babies. Again, I've given birth several times. I might know a little something about it, right? But it's a different program when you deliver a baby, right? So I remember delivering my first baby. for this sister from the masjid. And I'm standing there and I'm saying all the right words, like, blah blah blah. When this baby started coming out, I promise you, all I could do was scream. I was screaming. I was just like, ah, ah, right? I was screaming. But at the same time, it's like I was witnessing something that was so, like, it was like nothing I had ever seen before. And even though I had done it, watching a child come through that portal, through the womb, like here, that this is somebody. Like you don't think that this is just some empty vessel popping out. Like this is somebody from the moment they are in the room.
Yes.
It's like their presence is so just like overwhelming, and I'm holding this baby and I'm just like, who are you? Like, like, who are you that your presence is so strong, your energy is so strong? So I don't doubt at all. You know what I mean? I don't doubt it at all.
I felt it just hit me in my gut. It was just like, that's your mama.
I can imagine. And the fact that they both had the water on the lungs, I mean,
yes. The baby was born and she had the water on her lungs, and my mom died with the water.
No such thing as a coincidence.
No, it wasn't. It's like amazing. It was amazing. And so, yeah. And you know what? You said so wait a minute now. How many babies have you watched be delivered?
Oh man. As of 2 years ago, 10. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this last one,
this
last one was, it blew my mind, yo. It blew my mind. We're gonna have to talk about that one day, because I actually think I know who that baby is.
Oh wow.
Because it is just
we're gonna get into this. I need to hear this. Okay, so what I want, when you were talking about babies and having babies, one of my mama's favorite songs. We from DC, right? Go songs, right? We like that shit, right? But one of my mama's favorite songs was Salt and Pepper, Push It.
Yes.
And she used to love that song.
Child, who didn't love that song?
Okay. So right now we're gonna get into Salt and Pepper, Push It. We're gonna come right back. I want to know about this last baby you talking about.
We not talking about that baby.
I need to hear about this baby. I need to know. This baby is a reincarnation. You knew it when it came out. That's the energy. Like, people don't realize that. Like Faith said, she said energy just changes form. Absolutely. And sometimes energy may take a while to reincarnate because it got other things to do. And sometimes it comes right back. It comes right back, and it's because it's supposed to be here. It just wasn't supposed to be here in the form that it was in any longer. That body was no longer suiting the energy. And so, yes. All right. So we'll be right back after this quick break. I was dancing way too hard. I wasn't expecting. I was over there enjoying, like,
I was over here wait.
Push it now.
Oh my gosh. What a great song for your mom, because Spinderella, she was the DJ. I'm gonna let
she was. Yes,
she was the one. So yes,
shout out to Spinderella. Shout out to Salt and Pepper. They are still here, and they dope as hell. Yes. So, okay, we're not gonna talk about the baby, but we know that there is another human being that is here, that is Ancient One. And I listen, y'all. Every incarnation is a reincarnation. If you don't know this, I try not to be harsh when I try to explain. Yes, there are billions of physical bodies on Earth, but there are not billions of souls. I don't believe that every physical body that you see is a soul. So when some bloodlines come back with souls and some do not. This is just me. I'm gonna make it clear, because some people that came on the show and they stopped me in the middle of my show and tell me, like, oh no, you can't say that. Let me tell you something, baby. You ever play like Call of Duty or any of those little games, there are people that are actually playing the game, and then there's robots within the game that manipulated to make the game more fun, because it's not 1,000 people online. it's probably 200, but you got 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing to me. You know, that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make clear, I don't
You
believe.
so radical. You so free spirited. I wonder where you get that from.
No, I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Know.
Who could have passed that on to me?
Oh, I wonder.
Right.
You know, let me just say, you know, on that reincarnation topic, that's a tough one to tussle with. I'm gonna be honest. I remember being early in my journey, and man, I tussled with that one like 99,000 ways. And every once in a while, you know, I'd be like, do I really know though? You know, so you know, yeah, continued journey, but definitely you do feel the presence of a child, of a person, of an entity when they come into this world, and it is very powerful. You know what I mean? It is very powerful. And so if your mother is back, give them hell, mama.
Yes.
Give it to them. Just, and wait a minute, is it a little girl she came back as?
Yes, as a girl,
Sassy.
little girl.
Sassy.
And very like moves so fast. Like that's what I'm saying. She ain't new to this world. Whoever this baby is not new. She left and came right the fuck back. Like, yo, I'm here. What's up? What we doing? Like, what's up? And I'm just like, dang,
that's one right there. I like that. I like that.
And you know what? Even if she wasn't at that time, just the thought of that gave me enough to keep pushing. Because at that time, that was a difficult time, you know.
You know what? So, and let me tell you something. It could have been just that too.
It could have been what? We got. It
could have just been. It could have been just that was the comfort. That was her way of comforting you. You know what I mean? So that's very possible too. And you want to know what? Thinking about this birth, you know, I was going through a very difficult time. So it could have been my mother telling me, you know, Dave, chill out, relax, I'm back. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It could have been, you know what I mean? So I mean, it's powerful. It really is.
Yes, it really is. And that energy is crazy. So if again, you know, we all have to experience it at some point, like some of us will, you know, our mothers will outlive us, but you know, hopefully, you know, things will happen in order to which they should, because I think that again, like my mom was the 5th child of 10. One was stillborn, but so it was 9 physical bodies that remained. So my mom was the 5th, and she was the baby. My grandmother, her first husband. So my mom was the baby of the first husband. And so when I think about it, my mom was the first child to pass. My uncle Rocky, who was my mom's brother, recently about a month or 2 ago passed away. So I know now. I know for sure that Rocky, my mom, and my mama are together. I know this. Okay. So first of all, everybody knows that my nickname is Rocky.
Yes.
When I was a little younger, everybody, not just because I used to fight all the time, which was but my uncle Rocky, that was his name. Like his name was Aaron, but everybody called him Rocky. And whenever he would see me, he reminded me, you know, you got your name for me. You know, they call you Rocky because I'm Rocky. So, and she's my mother's. They have the same dad. So that's my mother's brother. And he just recently passed. And it's so weird because my babies, they threw me a fashion show recently, right? And they came in and they said, we got this fashion show and you could come, but we got these 3 extra tickets. And one is for grandma and 2 of her friends. And I said, 2 of her friends. And I said, oh, my dog Romeo, my uncle Rocky, and grandma, you got 3 tickets. She said, oh, see, I knew we had 3 tickets for a reason. And I said, well, there you go. All of them up in there. And my mom loved my dog. So shout out. My mom's got everybody over there with her. You know, we be thinking people lonely, but they not. Energy returns to source, you know, and I feel like different energies, you know, you get comfort as we continue on. There's no fear in death. I don't really fear death, and I had to learn that with my mom's passing. Like I had to stand on the stuff that I believe, in the fact that energy doesn't die. So I had to, like, I grieved for my physical body. I grieve for my physical body because my physical body lost its physical mother, but the spiritual body had lost nothing. So I had to remind myself of that. And during the time when my mother was getting ready to transition, I was in the hospital, and it went from my mom was going to get chemo to when they went in. I think they, like, it just started to spread. Once they cut in, it spread, and it was like it went from she can go to chemo, she can live through this, into she's going to go to hospice. She's got maybe a month. And so, but going through that and getting there and actually having to witness and having to explain to my mother, because the only thing she could remember was she was going to go to chemo. She couldn't get past that to, Mom, I'm trying to explain to you that, I'm gonna make it as comfortable as possible. But like, I wanted to get her spirit comfortable, because she was still in the, I'm not going nowhere. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to my sister's house, and she's gonna take care of me. We can do this chemo thing, because that was the initial plan. But it started to spread. And I think, I felt, because I was staying in my aunt, so my cousin's house, and he was gone the whole time. So it was just me. And I was just dialoguing with Divine and just trying to figure out, how do I, as a child, and still feeling like a child, be strong enough not to cry in front of her, for one, because I want her to be comfortable, peaceful. I don't want her to be like freaking out, but I want to be real with her about what is happening, because I didn't want her to be, I wanted her to go peacefully and understand. Because my mom was always, again, she was spiritual. She wasn't spiritual like we are now. She was spiritual in a different kind of way. She knew like there was more, and she would always say that. She'd be like, yeah, I know there's more than this. Like, she wasn't into the Bible or anything like that. She was just like, she's a free spirit. And so I knew that, like, I felt like my mission when I got there was to connect to her spirit and let her know that, like, it's okay to let go. Like, don't worry about me. Because I think that's her biggest worry, was her kids, always. That's what us moms worry about all the time. Even when people don't know everything we do for our kids, right? Like, everything. I explain that to my kids, like my house selection, what neighborhood I live in, what kind of car I'm gonna have to drive. You need enough to fit your kids. You need to live in a neighborhood that's safe for your kids. You do everything for your children. And so, again, we always think we have more time. And I kept believing I had more time, more time. And I had to sit with that in that quiet space. And in that space, Divine told me, like, this is going to be difficult, but I need you really to make her comfortable. And I sat with my mom. It was so crazy. My cousin, again, she went into labor, and I was like, dang it, because when I take you, that's on my way to the airport. And I wanted to go to see my mom today. And it was like, I was fighting with that. Like, do I take her I got to take her to the hospital, but if I go back, I might miss my flight. But something was like, go back. So I took her to the hospital. I jumped back in my car and I drove back to the other hospital. So north side and south side. This time she's on her way to have this baby, and my mom is sitting on the edge of the bed. Now my mom hadn't set up the whole, like, she'd been laying she was sitting up, and she said, I was waiting for you. And I was like, it was so crazy. Nobody was there. And I was thinking, thank God I didn't go to the airport. Like, I was just so happy I didn't go to the airport, because she was sitting there and she was like, I was waiting for you. Are you okay? And she was just talking to me like regular. And she had not really been able to speak. It was crazy, because before I got there, she hadn't spoke really a lot. And then when I got there, my Aunt Vicky was like, girl, you brought life back to your mother. She's just been talking ever since. But she wasn't really like making a lot of sense until when I was getting ready to leave. And I was able to sit with her And I told her, I said, I'm getting ready to leave because I got to go back to the girls. I've been down here for like 2 weeks. And I'm going, but her mom was going to come down and my aunt was going to come down, so everybody's going to be there. It's going to be rotating in and out, and I just wanted to give her the comfort. And I was like, no matter what, mom, you're going to be okay. Like, you understand that, right? And she was like, and it was just being able to look her eye to eye before I was left. Only had like 10 minutes with her on the edge of the bed. She was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I don't even want to leave because nobody was there to transition out. But I was so grateful just to have those moments, those last moments with her, because I felt like, even though I couldn't say it, when my eyes met hers, I felt like she was like, she knew. She knew. Like, when I looked at her, she knew. And she didn't get to see her mother or her sister after that. After I left, maybe like 3-4 days later, she passed. And I mean, I am a mom every day, all day. And if not for the lessons, again, the things I've seen and I was not able to see, everything about this woman is why I am the way I am with my kids and who I am. And just like you said, our children chose us. I tell my kids this on a regular, and they be like, I'd be like, you can be mad at me, but you chose me because of the lessons you needed to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you needed a softer mother, you would have picked the softer mother. You know how I am. Like, I'm not about that life. They'll tell me about what their friends is doing. Well, I'm not your friend's mom. And your mom say that shit on a regular basis. But if you think about it, each individual picks their own guide throughout this life. We pick our guide. Yes, we chose our names. I believe that because my kids chose their damn names. I did not choose that. I knew their names before they came, but it was already imprinted on me. So we choose our names. We choose our guides, and I feel my mother was a guide for me, and it's been an even stronger guide since she has passed on to the ancestral realm. It's been difficult raising these three beautiful girls without her, but I tell them stories about her all the time, and all my stories be funny because my mother was funny, y'all. Like, I can't lie about her and make her into some church lady. She was not. I can't lie about her and make her into some hope. My mom was who she was. She was, and I played that song in the beginning, that T'Challa song from Black Panther.
Yes.
Okay, so that song meant so much to me today. So first of all, I love that song, but when I heard that song today, it reminded me of my mom, because my mother, I tell people this all the time. My mother was born. I mean, my mother was a Detroit person. Detroit is the hood. That's black folks. I love Detroit, but that's where I was born. And my mom will find Detroit in any city she go. She can go to Atlanta. She gonna find the Detroit in that joint. She can go to DC. She gonna find the Detroit in that joint. But she is the queen. She is the king of the streets that she goes to. Anywhere my mother goes, there's always some folks around her that love her like she is. And in that song, they talk about you're not just the king of the rich, you are the king of the poor. You are the king of, everybody, the lost souls of everybody. And when I see my mother, like, people loved her in that way. That how you don't get along with your mother? She's so funny. Yeah, because that's my mother, y'all. Y'all, she funny to y'all, but she my mama. I got to deal with this like on a regular. So we used to bump heads, but I would look at the people, and even though we would go through our things, I just love the way people would admire my mother and like love her energy, and she would be protected. She be in them streets, y'all. I'm not lying. My mom not gonna make me sit here and say she be sitting up in the house and cleaning kitchens and shit. My daughter, my oldest, is 18. She used to call, and she used to go with my mom. She want to go visit my mom. Okay. She called me at the end of the day and be like, Mommy, I'm like, what's wrong? My legs hurt. What's wrong with your legs? Grandma left out early this morning. We just now getting in. It is 7 o'clock. My mama be out outside. You hear me? She stay outside. That's what she did. She was always
She's in the
outside.
streets.
She in them streets. And she take my baby with her. Like the
Hey,
crazy
listen.
thing, she went to Detroit she was in Detroit for a while. This is before she came to live in Atlanta. She was in Detroit. And Brooklyn was 1 year old. She may have just been turning 1. And I got a call that my mother had been hit by a car on 8 Mile, right? And that's busy out that joint. Like that's one of the busy hood areas in Detroit. I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta get to Detroit. Now I'm in Atlanta. I'm in my 20s. I ain't got a lot of money. So we surely ain't flying with a newborn baby. I'm about to get on this car that I already got, gas it up, and we driving to Detroit. So I don't know. That shit was a whole day's ride. But we get there. And my mom, first of all, if you've ever seen somebody who's been like in their body went through any type of trauma, they are darker. Their body will your body will darken up. I had never seen nothing like this. So my mom, I come in the room like, who is this chocolate lady? And she like, girl, shut up. But she like, I kind of want to keep my color. I'm like, girl, you are chocolate. Like, and her doctors explained that her body had went into like shock. So she had gotten like darker. And so she had convinced me to sneak my baby up through the ICU. We brought Brooklyn up there and she was hanging out with grandma. So I saw my mom for like 2 weeks. I went back home and she was going to go and stay with my uncle because they made all these convenient arrangements because my mom had shattered her whole bone in her leg. She had a rod in her leg. She's in a wheelchair. She can't do hardly nothing, right? But my mom be in the streets, y'all. Y'all don't hear me. So my mom's in a wheelchair. She's 2 weeks home. I call my uncle.
No.
Mom, she not here. Fuck you, mean she not here? Where is she? She's in a wheelchair. Where is she? She out. Your mom left this morning. Oh my God. She left this morning. She ain't gonna be back till this evening. She in a wheelchair. I couldn't stop her. One supposed to jump in front of her. I couldn't stop her. I'm just like, my mom is in a wheelchair out in these streets. My mom don't give a damn. She would have been going down the steps and still out there. Guess what? She got about 3 homies around her that's gonna make sure she gonna make it up them steps and back down them steps just fine. So shout out to you, Mom. You determined to do anything,
out, Mom.
which is the fuel to my flame because I don't give up on much. I may pout, I may get mad about having to do some stuff, but that spirit of I ain't gonna give up, even if I ain't got no use of my damn leg. I'm gonna roll out the bed and go out here and be in these streets. And she does it, I think, because people love her. They wanted to see her all the time. She wanted to be out there and she had to be with her folks. And so I think that energy is still with me too. It's like by any means necessary.
Well, Pisces is the house of hit and strength. So, the strength that you don't even know you got is in that house. So, yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it. But, I find it so amazing that she just was so resilient, and just, and it was determined, and I can see that in you. You are very determined. Very.
Yeah. Sometimes to my own detriment. Yes.
I've seen you go through some
absolutely.
things. Very determined. Absolutely. And it's beautiful to see too.
Thank you, sis. And that's why, again, y'all, I had to bring my sister MaWu Lisa up here because, again, when I would, and we're going to talk about this really quickly. I want to talk about that. I spoke on it before on the show, and we're not going to get in depth. But when I met MaWu Lisa, I was in my early 20s. I was finally waking up to myself, and I felt like I'd just been broken into by divine. It was just pouring all this stuff into me, and I just wanted to share with everybody. And I'm gonna tell you, my sister, she didn't have to, but she stepped out there. She would reach out to me and she'd be like, look, I hear you. Like, it was so comforting for somebody to actually see you without even asking to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in a group together, but my sister can see. And not only did she see me, but she stayed with me. Over these years, we have talked on and off, and finally we kind of reconnected through IG and been like connecting ever since. But the energy of somebody who you have like that mother, first of all, she got 7 kids, y'all. And yeah, and let me just say that mother energy is strong with you. It's very strong with you. And you saw me as a young person, again, very open to divine, very open to the message, but also very vulnerable and very, yeah, very sensitive to what other people would think or feel about what I was saying. And she like stepped in like a mother would and gave me some real encouragement. And not only that, we broke off from the group and started our own divine circle, and it was beautiful. It was, when I say it was a beautiful thing to see, not only that, I'm saying these people see that things were going crazy, and they decided, you know what? I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something bigger and better. And my sister here, she was like, "Look, we got to keep connected," and we did for a long time. We had our own little group, but within that, it's so many beautiful minds, And they're gonna come. They're gonna visit us here on Pronoia. I know I'm gonna get them all in here. We talked about it. We've been talking about it, but I'm gonna have to bring them all on here. But I said all that to say that you've always been like a mother to me. Though I call you my sister, you've always in my head been like a mother to me, And it has nothing to do with age or nothing. It's about your wisdom. It's about the way that, again, you are able to speak to me in ways that I listen, because I'm hard-headed and I'm very stubborn. Yes, you are. I know this. I am very self-aware as well, y'all. I am very hard-headed.
Yes.
Very stubborn.
First, let me just say I'm so grateful to have you in my life. When we met, your energy, it reminded me of my daughter, and you look like my daughter. And so, I remember realizing the predators that were in our group, and not only the predators, the energy vampires that were in our group. And I saw how they used your energy to get what they needed, but they had no real good intentions for you. And I felt it was my duty as one of the elders to say, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to leave this girl alone and let her develop and grow the way she should. Especially when I found out you were a Pisces, I was like, no. And you hard-headed, So and so I couldn't tell you nothing at first. You was ready to fight everybody, and I had to assure you that I had that on lockdown and didn't nobody want no smoke. So I told you, I was like, I got this. I was like, they just talking, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but what I would like to say about over the years, I remember when I was early on my journey, I wanted to hold everybody that I felt connected to super close to my chest. Like, I did not want to let them go. The mother energy, it does resonate deeply in me, and I say that has a lot to do with my mother, because I'm the oldest, so I always felt like I had to protect, everyone around me. And if I love you, I protect you. And I'd fallen in love with you. I fell in love with your energy, what you brought to, the dynamic that you brought to the group, and it was worthy of protecting. So I stepped in. And over those years that I didn't have a lot of contact with you, it wasn't, it was, if you notice, like once every couple of months, I send you a message.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Some of them would be long, some of them be short, because, Source would tell me, all right, it's time to check in on her. She getting out of control. It's time to check in on how you got the reeler back in. It's time to remind her who she is. All these little messages, because, we are one. And I knew that from the moment we met, so it's been an honor to be able to stand in that space and provide, whatever it is I can in service. And let me say, you've been a mirror to me too. I look at my younger sisters as these reflections of actual growth that's taking place in my line. You are proof that we get better. You know what I'm saying? And that it gets greater later. So
Yes.
why wouldn't I protect that fiercely? And I still do. Because you
Yes,
know.
yes, yes. All day, all day. Yes. Thank you so much. Listen, this is so real. So real, for real. I
For
I don't
real, for
I don't
real.
call a lot of people like really truly my friends, like people don't really, because a lot of people can't connect. They can't connect on that level that I need to secure a friendship. Like everybody has their own definition of what a friend is to them. Me, like I'm a real clingy friend. I'm a friend like I'm your boyfriend. All we ain't doing, we just ain't having sex. That's it. I expect you to call me. I expect you to hit me up. I expect to go out. We gonna do everything you do with your
All the things.
man. We gonna
All
do.
the things.
We just not having sex. That's it.
All
So, so that's a lot. And so not everybody can handle a lot. I was born a lot. You know what I'm saying? I was born with a veil. I was born still in the embryonic sac. I was born a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I already know that I'm not for everybody. But when certain
right.
energies, divine has led so many beautiful energies, like my sister here, Sunshine Monet L, right? I met her through you. Knowledge born Allah. I met him through you. And it's crazy how my life has been maneuvering. And again, like my mother's, it goes back to her. I say I hadn't seen her do a regular job, but you know what? I think I was just so enamored with her because I've been sitting here thinking my mom went to school. She went to Michigan State and she was an RN. She got her RN. She was an RN for a while, but I don't remember her doing that. And she did a lot of things, but in life, to me, she was always the fish. She was always just going with the
Always.
flow of life. People said, "Man, were you in the military?" When I started naming all the places I lived, and I was like, "No, I'm my mama's child." And she would get up and go, and we would just go with her. I would switch
The
schools so much
gypsy
that we
woman.
like schools. I leave, and then I end up back at the same damn school because that's how my mother would move. She would move with the flow of the energy. And Sunshine said that's a vibe. She went out in Gemini energy on a 7 year because that's definitely Gemini energy. She said her Miles's birthday is 5/20. Yes.
Mm,
Gemini energy. For sure she
that's
went out of Gemini energy.
that's a different energy.
That is definitely a different energy.
But I'll say this, you know, your mother maneuvering, when I heard you say that, how she maneuvered and she, kept pursuing regardless, her dream or whatever. I think about how so many mothers do stifle, they, well, not stifle, but they decide that laying down whatever it is they want to do for the moment is the thing. But your mother in that Pisces kind of gypsy energy, that actually helped to shape and mold you, because you too are a gypsy
Yes.
wanderer. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
so it's like she was showing you firsthand the life. You know what I mean? She was showing you, not just telling you like, oh, you need to be free, you need to follow your. No, she did it and she
She was
showed
living
you
it.
how to do it, and it's
Yep.
beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
Yes. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so crazy you use the word gypsy because my mom was like a gypsy. She was a nomad. She would just move from
Yeah.
place to place and she would maneuver in ways. And I don't know how she made magic happen, but she did. And I mean, we had our lows and we had our highs, but everything about it was learning for me. And now my girls, Sunshine had told me, she said, man, because we were having a conversation and she said, I've heard you talk about your life. When I was a kid, we went through a lot. I was homeless at one point. I was living in a car at one point. But that is why I'm so determined now with what I do
Yes.
for my children. That's why they so damn spoiled. That's
Hello.
why, and it's okay because of the fact that, I had to go through all of that so they can be like, they don't need to know about all that I'm going through because I see now the way my mother maneuvered. I didn't know. Again, she was an RN. She probably did that stuff, but I didn't know all the things she was doing to make things happen. She just looked like she was flowing with life so easily. And I know as I got become an adult, it's not easy. Some people look at me and be like, man, when you get up there, you just talk and you just flow and it's easy. And it's not, it just looks that way. I get sick in my stomach before I come on the show sometimes. I get nerves. I want to throw up. I wonder if somebody gonna watch,
Yes.
nobody gonna watch, what's going on. Like I think about all that kind of I'm a human,
Yes.
I'm a soul in human form. So I have those emotions, but then that Karen Mahone pushed through, be like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't care who show up. I'm about to
Yes.
sit here and give them what divine got for me, and whoever needs to hear it is going to hear it, and whoever is meant for is going to get it. And that energy she had, I think, everybody who met her, like she was able to give them something that I believe they will never forget her. Like
Never.
you can't. Some energies is just like it's implanted on your heart and your soul. And again, my mama will tell you to this day, she'd be like, Rocky, stop being so mean. That was her thing for me. Just Rocky, stop being so mean. And my meanness growing up came from protecting the fact that I'm sensitive. Sensitive people got to protect themselves. But my mom
Yeah.
could see through all of that. She see through all that. She'd be like, you all huffy and puffy and all that, but you really just a little heartbroken and you in your feelings right now. Stop being so
She
mean.
knew firsthand. And let
Yes.
me just say too, the moving around thing is very 12th house Pisces kind of ancestral energy because our ancestors move, you know what I'm saying, according to the energies and the signs and the symbols, the sky and the land. So it's nice to hear these stories, this history about your mother because it reminds me that we've had some here recently. Everybody just talk about Harriet Tubman and all these other folks. It's like I need to hear about the women who are here now and the women who were just here because they have lessons and stories for us too. And
Yes.
you know what, there's a lesson in that, being able to move freely because for me, moving is a very hard thing. So to be able to pick up and just go, I always have the desire to, but it's just like, no, I can't just get up and go. So to see that, it's like, wow, people really do just get
Yes.
up and go. And they're
Yep.
fine and they have
Yep.
wonderful lives. So these stories are important. So thank you so much for sharing these stories about your mother because believe me, somebody listening gonna be like, oh, so it's okay that I just get up and I go. Yes, it
Yes.
is. You know
Yes.
what I mean? And they need to hear these stories.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And I agree that, again, like I said, there's a lot of structures that we fall into that I don't believe are meant for us. Like sometimes
Yes.
everybody's not supposed to be a cookie cutter. Everything don't fit everybody. But
Yeah.
because we're all individual souls and supposed to experience this thing differently so we can all contribute different things. I was blessed to have a mother. And at that time, I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like that at 9 when I had to go live with my grandmother and all. I didn't understand none of it. But now, when I talk to my kids, I want them to understand that, like, though I went through what I went through, you would not have the mother you have right now that's willing to do any damn thing, grind any way possible so that you can maintain, you know what I'm saying, the lifestyle, not only just the lifestyle, but the security to feel like you ain't got to worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? My mom, if she couldn't do that, she put me where she knew that would happen. And for
Right.
that, I'm grateful. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for our children. And it's not
Yeah.
sacrifices to our children, it's for them. They just don't understand it. As a 9-year-old, I didn't want to part from my mother. I was angry. That's why I had a lot of anger issues when I was younger. That's why I went through a lot of the awakening happened because I was dealing with solitude. I didn't want to be around nobody. I wanted to be with my mother. I didn't
Mhm.
understand. that she was going through her solar return and trying to figure her life out and things like that. And she saw me and said, I need to protect you. I need to put you somewhere that I know that you're not going to be in the midst of this storm, because this storm is my storm. And that
Yes.
is a blessing. That is something that people don't think about, but mothers make sacrifices every day
Whew.
that are hard to make. You
Hard.
think they want to
Yeah.
be away from their children? When you see grandmothers raising children and you just think of it like, oh, that mom was partying or this and that, you
No.
don't know what the hell that mother's going through at that
Yeah.
time where she needed that support. You know, we never think about what that person may be like. When I'm with my grandma, I'm just angry, right? I'm sitting in there and I'm thinking about all things going on with me, not thinking about what my mom is going through, where she is now, all of those things that she was maneuvering through, trying to get back to me, you know? So
Right.
sometimes I think we just need to take time and honor our
Yes.
mother, honor them
Yes.
while they're here, honor them when they're gone, honor our
Yeah.
grandmothers, honor our great grandmothers, because like you said, we've been in the womb of the woman for so long. Like we should be honoring it. And I talked about that with Sunshine on the last show, you know, how the woman really, honestly, the energy of the womb man needs to be honored, it needs to be respected, and it needs to be recognized. You know,
Absolutely.
there's so many things out here trying to swoop in and change it and make it something it's not. And let me tell you, the originals, the red, the blues, and the yellows cannot be duplicated. The originals are necessary for life to continue. So I give thanks to all the mothers who bring life into this world and those who did not bring life through their own wombs, yet they nurture and care for others. Those are mothers too. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, my auntie didn't have any kids. But guess what? When my mom sent me to live with my grandma, my auntie was there. Guess who paid for my prom dresses? Guess who made sure I did good in school? My auntie. She took care of me like a mother. So again, that energy, that mother energy is necessary and it should be honored and respected. And I think that's what all this era that we're going through right now is all about. I can't wait to do the mother show, and I'm definitely going to have you back for that. Uh, yeah, I could talk all night about my mother. And she knows that. She's like, keep going, baby, keep going. But I want to play two more songs before we go off. The last song I want to play from my mom's side is because I feel like this represents my mom so much. And rest in peace to Whitney Houston, right? But I want to dance with somebody because my mom had a
Yes.
free spirit, just like Whitney had. Like that, if you see her in this video, there was a very free spirited Whitney Houston right there. And
Yes,
so
it
I want to
was.
play that. And then guess what, y'all? He found the Biz Marquee picking boogers. And I got to go out with that. So we're gonna take a
Yes.
quick break. We're gonna go into the Whitney Houston for a quick I want to dance with somebody. We'll come back, we'll close out, and then stick around if you want to hear the most disgusting song I've ever heard made. But my mom used to play that shit on the radio and it's funny as hell. So we'll be right back with I want to dance with somebody. All right, y'all. That was the beautiful, late, and great Whitney Houston. Dance with
I was
somebody.
over here jamming, man. That's my
Hey,
jam right there. That's my
yes.
jam right there. I was like, yes, Whitney, kill it, girl. Jersey girl, by
Yes.
the way. She a
Huh?
Jersey girl, by the way.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that. Shout out to
Yeah.
Whitney Houston.
Shout out, Whitney.
Yes, yes. So, MaWu Lisa, it has been a pleasure to have you here. I am definitely got to get you back in here in April so we can get you for a couple of more shows and
Yes.
get into some more conversations. But it's been beautiful to have you in this energy tonight. My mother is happy. I am happy. How are you feeling right
Good.
now?
I'm glad she happy. I was hoping she'd be happy.
Yeah, I can feel it. Yes, yes, yes.
That-
The energy is high over here right now. So before we go, I am going to play that booger song. That is such a
yeah.
nasty song, I swear. And then after that, we're gonna play Orange Juice or Orange Juice Julian or I Saw You. And
Oh my goodness, not Orange Juice Jones.
yeah, that's it right there. There you go. Orange Juice Jones. Okay. Yes, yes. I got it all jacked up. Listen, I said this is my mama's music, not my music, y'all. Come on now. I don't remember everybody's name, but I remember the music though. So we're gonna close out soon. Anything else you would like to say to the people, MaWu Lisa, before we get out of here?
Oh, well, again, I just want to say continue to rise in power, Mother. We feel you. We appreciate you. We see you every day through your beautiful, beautiful daughter and granddaughter. So I say to her. Thank you to you and your engineer. You guys always make me feel welcome. Even when my internet be internet and y'all always make it nice for me. So I appreciate that. And your star seeds, all the star seeds, I can't see the things as they go up, but I know they were over there in the chat probably having a great time. So I hope they enjoyed, our conversation as well. And I encourage everyone, in thinking of soulmates, take this time, take some time to think about your mother as your first soul you connected with, here on this place for a long time, while you was in there, she was shaping and molding. So every bit of your body has her soul in it. So, I mean, I want you to think about that. So that would be my takeaway, our mothers as our soulmates, and for all those people who think they haven't found one yet, you started with one, so you can't never be without it.
Hey, that
You
is
know what I mean? So thank you to everyone.
for sure. That is some realness. Now that is a soulmate Sunday. You started off with your soulmate, so you never be without it.
Yes.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Larry. Let's see. Let me see. Let me shout out everybody. Thank you, Knowledge Born. Thank you. I don't know if that was Danielle on the Virgo's L, but thank you, Danielle. Anyway, I love you. Diana, thank you for tapping in. Thank you all for tapping in tonight and celebrating my mother with me and MaWu Lisa. Thank you so much, sis. This has been a beautiful show. I've enjoyed the energy in this show. I feel my mother's energy. She like, and now get this room together, ma'am. Yes, she's like, you will not let me go to sleep in here. So get your life. Yep, I feel okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So y'all, again, my mom was been in the building the whole time, and she is definitely resonating tonight. She is happy. I am happy that you came tonight. You could have been anywhere else on a Sunday. I know y'all got to work and all kinds of stuff, and it's 11:20. But guess what? I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here and celebrate my mother with me. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you. Shout out to Enoch Seven Prophet for being a wonderful producer and helping me with this show tonight. And thank you all again for tapping that G when I always it's like, yeah, I so and we're gonna come on, mom. Thank you. Bring me back.
She back. She back.
Okay.
She back.
So
She got it.
we are, yes, I'm like in, out, in. Okay. So y'all know that the universe is always working in your favor, no matter what is going on. I know that I'm choppy as hell, but guess what? It's still working in our favor. And this is just a sign. This is just a sign that the energy is in the building. It's just saying, hey, as I am here and I'm pulling from your internet
But they
connection.
say they had a
So
good time.
thank
That
you,
was
mom.
their hand clap.
Yes. That's my mama. That's her. Excellent exchange. Your divine godmother is amazing and lives through you. Mawu Wu, we love you and cherish you. Continue to be a blessing. Absolutely. Thank you, Knowledge Born Allah. Thank you, MaWu Lisa. Yes. Oh, peace. May both of your mothers continue to rise in power. Absolutely. Our mamas are sitting
Thank
somewhere
you.
probably
Yes.
proud as hell right now of both of us.
Yes.
I feel the great energy right now. See, and yep, they allowed me to come back in full fledged to just tell you that the
Yes.
universe is always working in your favor. Your mamas got your back. Respect,
Yes.
love, cherish your mothers. Everybody who still has a mother alive, you know, it may be too late to call her right now, but call her tomorrow. Call her ASAP. And if you didn't tell her today, tell her tomorrow you love her. Because you know what? Your mamas love you. Regardless of what they may do, say, they do they love you because you come from them. They had to carry you for 9 months to bring you into this world, but they've been carrying you for many, many years before that. And so much love to all the mothers. Much love to you, MaWu Lisa. Shout out to all the audience. Thank you for being here and celebrating my mother. Universe always working in your favor. Pronoia Starseed podcast, y'all.